Hi everyone, and thanks for all the support with my channel. I'm very grateful for people who have subscribed, and if you haven't, please do so you'll be notified when my next video is posted. And thanks again to everybody who continues to like, share and comment my videos, because I'm very appreciative for all of your support. Today I want to speak about Dublin City Council, and specifically in relation to what's gone on in the last number of days around our capital city, the issues in Stoneybatter, the issues in Ballymun, and many more issues that have arisen in Dublin. Now, a motion was called for by a number of Dublin City Councillors last night to discuss this and discuss the crime crisis. This was brought forward at the monthly council meeting and seen under topical issues, and unsurprisingly it was defeated. The vast majority of Dublin City elected councillors voted against discussing the crime crisis that has plagued and ravaging our city. Now, it was beaten by 46 votes to 12, and coincidentally a lot of the councillors in the Kimmage-Rathmines area, the area that I stood in myself a number of months ago, voted against debating this issue. Shows you how much their heads are buried in the sand around the issues that affect people. And the Lord Mayor also showed her contempt towards those councillors and contempt towards democracy by saying to them that they should close the door before they go, as they left because they were disgusted that this motion wasn't heard. Now, this is just unbelievable, that these issues that pertain to Dublin City cannot be discussed in elected officials in Dublin City Council. This is just outrageous. But again, as I said, it shows you how out of touch these politicians are, and really what interests do they serve? They don't serve the interests of the citizens of Dublin. They serve the interests of themselves and their benefactors, who they support every day of the week. Now, what's interesting with this was a response from one of the Sinn Féin councillors, Daithí Doolan, who said, "Well done to the Lord Mayor." This is just shows you it's just one big club, and really ordinary people are so far removed from it. And this comes on the back, as I said, of the horrific attacks that took place in Stoneybatter over the weekend. And there is an update around that, because the person who was responsible for that has been charged and has been brought before the courts and has been charged on two counts of assault causing harm. Now, what's interesting around this is the fact that this man from South America, had already a charge and had a case coming this Friday on drugs charges, and he was out on bail, unsurprisingly. And of course, his solicitor said today that he would be looking for bail hearing next week when he's before the courts again. Could you make this up? Could you really make this nonsense up to what's going on in Irish society? Now, what's also interesting around this is the issues around the lack of debate and the issues of shutting down debate, and rather than discussing these issues that pertain to ordinary people and the lives and safety of our citizens. And what's really important is to have an open and honest debate. But we're not going to get that through the media and the political classes, where people can have a frank, open, honest, rational debate that's balanced and reasonable to what's going on. And this nonsense in terms of the issues in Stoneybatter and the horrific attacks on those poor victims and the community of that area, which I'm sure is in deep shock because of what's taken place. A lot of those councillors who voted against the motion also as well were ones who were paying lip service on the media all over the weekend, saying how much their thoughts were with the victims. Well, if their thoughts were with the victims, well, then maybe they should be trying to resolve the issues that pertain to people that they were elected to represent. But of course, they're not interested in that. They're interested in siding up to the establishment's narrative. And what's also important with this is the constant burying the head in the sand and denying reality to what's really going on the ground in Dublin. And of course, the media narrative will always be pushed the same. This was an unusual, it was a random attack and all this type of nonsense, rather than having an open and rational debate and discussion of all these issues in a frank and honest manner. But of course, we're so used to that in Ireland. We've never had that. For years and years, we've had issues around COVID where there was no open and honest debate, where you had proper balance and discussion. We had that as well through, for instance, recently, with the Enoch Burke case, where rationality goes out the window, where it just becomes pure emotion, and a lot of nonsense is driven around that as well, rather than discussing those issues. And the same as immigration. When was the last time we had a rational and open and honest debate on the immigration chaos in our society? Of course, it's pushed to the background, and anybody that speaks out is smeared, silenced, cancelled, and called every kind of name under the sun, rather than discussing the real issues that pertain to ordinary working class people most of all. And this is why it's vitally important that people use their voices to speak out to what's going on in Irish society, because democracy should start from the ground up, from our communities, where people have a voice, people have a say in what really goes on in their daily lives. And this just really symbolises and is a symptom of the wider malaise in Irish society that's been permeated by the political classes and establishment through their media lackeys and many more in society who are just going along with the narrative and are too lazy to an extent to face the truth to what's going on in Irish society. It's vitally important to use your voice to speak out, and we can get a country that we're all proud of, where we put the needs of our citizens first. So I really appreciate all the support for all the videos. Please press subscribe to my YouTube channel also as well. So from Dublin, take care. Slán.